All right, guys, so today we're going to work a little bit on jerk work. This is something that I've gotten a lot of questions about in the past. I see it as a common error, not just for the advanced athlete, but primarily for the everyday athlete in the CrossFit space, people that are looking to implement any kind of Olympic lifting into their training. One of the unique things about shoulder to overhead is that it's very much a high skill movement, even if you're executing just a push jerk, or even if you're executing a split jerk. So in my warm-up, I do several things just to prepare my body, of course, for the shoulder to overhead itself and what I'm gonna be bearing over my head. But more importantly, I wanna actually refine the skill set, the speed under the bar, the position of my dip, and also build a consistent and established landing position or receiving position for the bar, whether I'm in a push jerk position or a split jerk position. So one of my favorite drills is without a barbell at all in my hands whatsoever. All I do is execute by standing at the top of my drive face. So I'm bouncing on my toes. All I do is immediately drop my hips down and back to the receiving position and punch my arms overhead. This is gonna simulate the receiving position of the power jerk. It warms up my central nervous system and allows me to fire quickly into the catch. Then I do the same thing with my split jerk. Stand at the toes, I'm squeezing my butt at the top, locking out my legs, and then I drop as quickly as I can into that lunge position, which is something I'll go over with you guys in a little bit more detail. But essentially you wanna think about establishing a traditional lunge position with a soft back knee so that your torso is upright, your arms are locked out over your head, and so that your front lead leg, your toes are forward enough so that knee in that bent position isn't out over your toe. You want a good stable base with some good width. It's important to practice it, and that's how I do it in my warm-up. I want to suggest you do the same. So we'll check out a little bit more of this split jerk session that I'm gonna use now, and I'll give you guys some tips as we go. All right, guys, so Mitch and I are here today. We're working a complex right now, 3 push jerks into 3 split jerks. Our goal and intention of this session isn't necessarily to belabor ourselves with a ridiculous amount of weight. We're not even necessarily building to a heavy. We want to continue to stay snappy and, more importantly, consistent with the execution of both the 3 push jerks into the 3 split jerks. Now, the reason that it changes halfway is this kind of allows you the ability to build a bit of fatigue through the push jerks and then create the freedom to drop into a lower catch or receiving position in the split jerk and still be able to move that load. This is one of my favorite ways to even coach the day-to-day class, or if you're in your garage gym training, it's a great way to effectively build up your split jerk because you have to put a little bit of extra focus into it. The efficiency of that movement and how well you do it will be limited, or the outcome will be limited on how that improves. So the goal is drive through a power position and receiving position on the push jerk or power jerk, and then finish each set with 3 split jerks. Consistency on the footwork, that's the goal.
I understand they hungry, but please don't hate, that's ugly. I've been sliding, shaking, moving, I've been popping in my city. Shawty say she love the way we do it with me. I be too turned up to ever give a yeah.
So one thing that I'm also implementing into today's structure, as we kind of build through the weight, potentially every other set or so, I'm gonna essentially try to execute what's called like a touch and go style of cycle rate. So it's different, right? One value here is that this is how it feels in a workout for time, right? You don't stand there with the barbell on your shoulders for an elongated period of time, at least you don't want to. So it'll carry over into that skill set of rapidly cycling reps. But also in regard to strength training, it allows us to experience a bit of a more exaggerated stretch reflex. So as I bring that bar down into my front rack position and I load down into the loading position, it allows me to use that upward momentum I've already created from the previous rep to help out the next rep more readily or more steadily. So if you can harness and use the ability to guide the bar path and stay in control of the rest of the elements of your body, definitely a no-brainer. Execute this style coming up here of shoulder overhead.
With my change up, they got amnesia, don't remember how they played us. They wanna knock me down, but somehow I just stay up. Hey, look, out with the who she. Laying game like 2D, I been kicking like Bruce Lee. Margarita to the brim tip, black denim need a slim fit. Same people that I flex with be the ones that I'm in the gym with. I'm a living legend, you a dead cause, and I'm dead. No, I'm dead, right? Leaving early, but I'm here night. Long and short to keep the head right. Teed up out in Malibu, got sand all in my good shoes.
All right, guys, so to sum up the jerk position and the shoulder to overhead technical aspects that we focused on earlier in this video is the fact that, again, the elements most overlooked in shoulder to overhead movements are the mechanics that take place from the waist down, right? You are going to drive your power jerk, your push press, your split jerk, your behind the neck split jerk, which is going to lead to your potential to overhead squat and all these other things down the road. The more that you refine what's happening in your lower body, building up your ability to dip and drive with great position, dip and drive and catch or receive the load in the proper position is ultimately gonna be your limiter down the road. Now, if you put a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of skill work, a lot of drill work with intention into developing that capacity, your shoulder stamina, your shoulder power, and your shoulder strength and the stability there is gonna continue to go up. And we'll do another video where I walk you through some drills and some skills that I specifically, with these long arms, use to help build up some of my shoulder resiliency and shoulder stability and stamina as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Share this thing, subscribe to the video. We've got a lot more coming just to try to add some value to this year's 2021 Open experience for you.
Check. The grills in my mouth double as a freeze. The grills in my mouth double as a freeze. The grills